We're James and Michelle, and we are in the process of building a 1,300 square foot rammed earth geothermal year-round greenhouse.
So if you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for watching. This has been a bit of a journey for us. We just want to do a little recap of that gets going. We just want to do a little recap of kind of how we started this. We started in May of 2023. We broke ground and then we're still suffering some shortages in supplies from COVID. So we didn't actually start on the rammed earth until July, I believe, of 23.
James, with the help of friends and a consultant, rammed earth consultant, built these beautiful rammed earth walls for the greenhouse. And the reason we chose to go with rammed earth is because of its thermal mass properties as well as its aesthetic beauty. James is a builder, but he had never built rammed earth before, so that was quite the feat.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. We finished ramming the walls in January of 24.
Yeah, we did it right through the winter.
Yeah, it wasn't a full-time endeavor. It was when we could fit it in.
Yeah.
A lot of it was full-time though, good bursts of it. One of the other things that we did is we installed a climate battery. So we have the rammed earth walls behind us are actually 12 feet from the top of the rammed earth wall down to the top of footing. And then we trucked in, I think, 10 or 15 dump truck loads of sand, basically act as a heat sink for our climate battery.
Which is another thing we had never done before. Or knew anything about.
Last summer in 24, we were continuing to work on it, but then we were also pushing to host a rammed earth course. And we ran into a little bit of problems with our local authorities and we got shut down because we didn't have permits. And now we have permits and we are moving forward on the wood roof structure portion of the greenhouse.
So in the last video, we did the framing of the roof.
We finished sheeting the roof and we actually just put a roof membrane, a peel and stick roof membrane on the back section of roof yesterday, just in time for the rain that we're having today.
And we're waiting for supplies. We're doing a black metal roof on the back. So we're moving around to the front of the greenhouse and we're going to be putting up these amazing beams that James milled on our sawmill.
These are a 6x12. They're 24.5 feet long, Douglas fir beams, rough sawn.
We're going to be burning them. We're going to be doing the Japanese wood preserving method called shosugiban. Shosugiban. We love it obviously for the aesthetics, but also because it actually preserves the wood.
Yeah, it works really good for UV protection, bug protection.
In the greenhouse, in the greenhouse with the humidity that we're going to be having in there, it will work awesome and look awesome. So what's the plan for today and tomorrow and the next day?
Well, first we're going to cut one beam. We just got to confirm a couple of measurements, but we're going to cut one beam as a test beam and lift it in place and then make sure everything fits how we want, because we don't want to waste any of these lovely long pieces of timber. Yeah, that's kind of the goal, is to try and get one of these up there, and then we're gonna have to pull it back down. We can essentially have one as a key or a scribe and cut the rest of them. Then we got a lot of osugi on it.
Yeah.
So hopefully within the next week we can get all these up. And then once these timbers are in place, we have to do purlins, which will connect all of these timbers together and will also help support our polycarbonate sheet roofing that goes on top of these beams to allow photosynthesis in the greenhouse.
Yeah, that light to come in.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of work in this side of the roof, but it's really going to give us that wow factor for the greenhouse. Show the true shape of it.
Yeah.
And we also have windows and the end walls to do. There's quite a bit of work to do. You can be planting while I'm working.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah.
We have to build the garden beds and stuff. We have a lot of work to do on this greenhouse. We're so happy that you're here following along, and can't wait to show you the finished product. And we hope you enjoy the video.
So cool thing, these guys, they're called stair gauges. If you're going to do a lot of the same angles, you can set them so you don't have to hold the square. It does it for you. Stair gauges. Superfan Charles knows all about them.
Hi, Charles.
Okay, I'm gonna get the big saw. Put it in. Just enough.
Bob? Bob? Are you wet? You want to go inside, Bob? You're getting all wet. Sweet.
Little jump, a little wedgie for your garden.
Nice.
I guess that one's the one we do. On this side because it looks like the beam's got a little twisted.
Come here, Tita. Tita, please don't dig in Mommy's garden. No. Yeah, you poop there. You don't poop in Mommy's garden. Chicha. Psst, psst. Good girl. Good girl. See, cats are trainable. Trying to pee or poop in the garden? Move them outside. Let's take a little look inside my greenhouse. See what's growing. That is a nice sea of greens. This is the miscellaneous seed sprinkle that I did a couple weeks ago. It's coming up very nicely. It's a mix of arugula, spinach, different types of lettuce. I've already been picking through this for kind of microgreens for toppings of dinners, but yeah, they're getting quite tall. You can see. It's my hand for reference. Yum! Then we've got our peas here coming up. Nice and tall. And they put up some trellising here. Plastic trellising. And it looks like I have some calendula flowers volunteering from last year that I want to interplant with the beans, which is cool. And then I did just radish seeds in here, and we've got tiny little sprouts there already coming up. That's last weekend I popped those seeds in, so that's pretty good. And then back here I did a shaker box of cut flowers. So this whole bed is going to be just beautiful miscellaneous cut flowers. I can't wait. It's going to look amazing. And then these are my flower pots with some nasturtiums and some different things, poppies and stuff like that, that I start inside the greenhouse because it's warmer, and then I plant them around the property. And this is kind of a cool thing. One of our neighbors gifted us this terracotta. It's one of those little fireplace things, those little boho fireplace. And I put some dirt in there and put some birch just to hold the dirt in. And then I did some miscellaneous flowers in there too, which I figure will grow out the top, which will be cute. Yeah, that's it so far. Hi, Chicha. Little minx. And Nettie there too. Yeah, they're loving their life. Yeah, some more pots here. Everything's coming up nicely here in the greenhouse because it's warmer, but out in the garden things are definitely a little bit slower. And I know I mention this every video, but if you have a place or a chance to do this miscellaneous greens sprinkle seed thing, cut and come again salad bar in your garden, I would highly recommend it. Look at that sea.
We finished off our last video. I was still working on the back roof, and in order to finish it, I think we just removed the tarps, but I did extension on the I-joists because they weren't quite long enough to get the overhang on the back. So I do extend top and bottom cords of the I-joists all the way along, and then I trimmed them, snapped the line so it was nice and straight. Trimmed all those down, and once those were trimmed, we cut some more plywood down to 14 inches for our rough fascia, which we'll be attaching roughs on Chosugibon fascia to, where you see the vertical plywood there. And then we sheeted the roof with OSB with H-clips, and I had some help, thankfully, on the weekend. And we finished sheeting the roof as well as the section of high wall to get ready for putting up our timbers. Then the last thing that we did, don't have any footage of it, but we put our peel and stick membrane on the roof just in time for all the rain we've had. We've had 3 days rain. Good amounts of rain. Anyways, that's kind of gives you a bit of an update of what we had to do to finish this. The other thing you can see is there's no sheeting on this pony wall on the back. I've left that off intentionally because I still have to run the electrical for inside the greenhouse as well as pot lights that we're going to be putting in to the soffit for the back wall and the side walls. And it's just going to give me a little bit of easier access so I don't have to crawl around up inside.
I wanted to show you guys my seedling starter room. Why I had no business going to the garden center last week, as I showed you in the last video. I have everything here that is going to fill my garden and my glass greenhouse starting next week. The May long weekend, we call it the May long weekend here in Canada. I don't know what you call it in the States. It's the third weekend of May. That is the token time that we are okay to put plants outside into the ground that have been inside. So all of these are going to be moved, or most of them. I did mention that I had some tomato seedling stunts, which is a happy accident because I'm going to save them for putting in the geothermal round earth greenhouse. Here is a example of that. So this guy just was started at the same time as the other ones I'm going to show you, but just stunted. It's the weirdest thing. And it's not variety specific either. I don't know. I honestly don't know what happened. Here's an example of one that is doing amazing. So planted the same time, same everything, totally different seedling, amazing big tomato plant. So I definitely have lots to work with for planting. I'm definitely going to be taking you guys along on that journey of doing that. The first thing that I'm going to have to do is harden all of these off, which means I'm going to have to take them out tray by tray. I usually do that in the glass greenhouse, leave them out for the day, get them used to different temperatures, different air, wind, all of that stuff, bring them in at night, do that for a couple of days, and then they get planted into the beds. So very excited. I have literally everything. I've got an entire herb garden, like a culinary herb garden for me. Flowers, zinnias. Oh my gosh, what are these ones called? I was finally successful growing this. I'm so proud of myself. Yarrow. So yarrow grows actually in the wild here, but it takes like I think it's 120 days to flower. So I started some indoors this year, and they are a perennial, so they'll come back every year. So I'm really happy to have this going, and it's a nice, beautiful big plant. That one turned out great. Cauliflower, broccoli, all different kinds of peppers, all different kinds of tomatoes, cabbage, onions. Look at this marjoram. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but this beautiful marjoram plant. So I'm going to have a whole section in my glass greenhouse that is going to be culinary herbs, all just packed in there. Something that I've learned over the years is that I used to plant, and then just nothing around. And of course, weeds get in there, and I don't think the plants really did very well. Plants enjoy company. Yes, there's companion planting, but there's like if you pack the plants in that work good together, for example, tomatoes and basil, they will benefit from each other, from bringing in beneficial insects, keeping the weeds down because there's no room like in the soil for the weeds to come up. So I'm going to do that a lot more this year than I have in the past. Oh, let me show you this amazing basil that I got. So cool. I can't remember what it's exactly called, but it's got little purple specks on the leaves, and it smells amazing. So I have so many different kinds of basil. I absolutely love basil, and I make I just planted a bunch of arugula out in the garden yesterday, so I make pesto from scratch from my garden, and I'll show you guys how to do that this year, and it's so good. It's so yummy. This is it. I'm gonna give it some water. I've been using this product called Big Ass Tomato Fertilizer. So that is not a sponsored product, but I kind of think it should be in my case. I'll flash a picture of it up on the screen. I got it on Amazon. It's called Big Ass Tomatoes, 100% organic. It's a lot of, I can't remember what the numbers are, but it's fish, a lot of fish and kelp, which is awesome organic fertilizer for veggies. It says Big Ass Tomatoes, but it's actually for, you can use it for any kind of vegetable. So that's what I've been using, and it's been working awesome. I'll show you another one of my tomato plants here. That's a product of that. Just gorgeous. So I would, if you're looking for a nice organic fertilizer, that's not Miracle Grow. Don't ever use that on your plants. Go with the Big Ass Tomato Fertilizer. It's powder. You mix it up in water. I just use an old vinegar jug, and it is 5 liters. So I put 1 scoop in there with the water and shake it up. And then I just, because this is heavy, so I just pour it into a little cup. And then I do like that. And then I do all my watering like so. Okay, so next time you'll see these seedlings, they will be, probably I'll show you the hardening off process a little bit in probably next week's video. And then after that, we're going to be planting into the garden.
Well, Georgie. How are you?
Can I sit on it?
Sure.
Will it help?
Watch out, Bob.
Bob!
I feel like one of those magicians. Oh, Pops Bob instead of the rabbit.
Hey, Joshy. James has been cutting and sawing those cuts that we showed you
Oh, he's
all
talking.
afternoon. That's okay. All afternoon. How many beans are there?
We need 12. I only got 10, so I need 2 more. I have stuff to mill it, or I might have to talk to Bob.
So this is a long process.
And I gotta do more. I gotta do a special thing for you that you don't know about.
Cool.
But you can burn.
Yeah, so they're the notches,
Bird's mouths.
bird's mouths. And we showed you how we flew up the test one to make sure that his measurements were correct on the bird's mouth cuts.
A
And
bit like a glove.
Yeah, and ever since then he's been sawing
It was raining,
a lot. Yeah.
so
It finally stopped raining.
it's gonna rain more. Yeah,
But I'm gonna start burning these beams.
you might want earplugs. That thing's loud.
Okay,
Rain jacket off.
let's
It's
get
hot now.
burning. Yeah, it's humid. Oh, Bob! You dirty boy! You said you had a surprise for me.
This is it. Your fancy ass lighting. It's gonna be supplemental lighting for winter. You know how you have all your grow lights
Yeah.
in the house? I'm routering in a channel for strip lighting for LEDs.
Which is my big surprise.
It's your big surprise. And it'll look really cool from inside. Actually, you won't even notice, but it's gonna be really bright in there.
Yeah. So the beams are going to go up.
This is the bottom of
that's
the beam.
The bottom.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be an LED light strip in there.
Yeah, but it's more than that because I have this fancy dancy channel that goes in. That's anodized aluminum, and so it won't rust or anything. And then there's a white cover.
Yeah.
So ideally, with that, you don't see the little diodes in the LED strip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneeze. It's so dusty. So 200 feet of LED light.
It's going to look incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it in the dark. I know you'll like it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it.
You got a sawdusty butt.
Good. Sorry about the noise, eh?